What you been up to lately?
Been going to the river a lot. So much fun, dude. They say shelter in place, and I say suck my
You are in a place.
Everybody's like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you going out there? What happens if the police stop you? And I say, I'm going to tell them to suck my
You say, okay, officer.
Sir, arrest me now, or I'm going to continue what I'm doing.
Okay, officer. Put your floaty back on top of your car and go home.
Yeah, I don't think I do that.
When we were playing basketball, well, if the fucking police roll up, if they tell us to leave, then I guess we'll leave.
And then come right back.
Yeah, then wait a little bit and then come back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is everybody wants to think they do certain things in that situation. I want to know what I actually do in that situation.
Yeah.
Because I can remember times where I'll be in a situation and I'll think I want to do something and I'll do it, or I'll be in a situation and I'll straight up react and I don't. Like looking back on it, I think I shouldn't have done that. I should have done something else.
Yeah. Well, in that, like, I think a lot of decisions we make come from like respect and like different emotions and things like that. Like if a police officer comes up and it's like, you know, pulls you over, or you're playing basketball and he's like, hey, you guys need to get out of here. You respect the police officer, like he's just doing his job, and it's an important job. So you're like, okay, I respect that. I will leave. Thanks, officer. Whereas just some fucking asshole, like say we're at the park playing and some guy comes up, you guys gotta fucking leave, and he's being all blunt about it and being a dick about it, like, oh, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like, we're not gonna leave. Who the fuck are you to tell us to leave?
Yeah, there's different situations. I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
That's weird. The only like, I have to take care of myself at work because people will take advantage of you where I work. I'm sure that's the same way where everybody works. That if you don't watch out for what you're doing, people will take advantage of you. You'll end up doing a lot of extra shit for no extra money, stupid stuff. That's the problem with the corporate America. Did you know America is dead? Just pulled up in the garage. Just kidding.
Come on, calm down, Alex.
But like I had stayed busy, which is good. This is good for me. I don't usually stay busy at work. Sometimes I dick around. But I stayed busy. I was there my whole shift. And at the very end, there's like 10 minutes left. And my boss comes along. He's like, hey, man, can you do this before you leave? And it had been sitting there all morning because you have to like print the paper and then do what the paper says. I printed the paper, posted it on the wall for anybody to do, and continued doing work. And at the very end of my shift, that thing still wasn't done. And he's like, hey, man, can you do this? And I said, absolutely not. Like usually when your boss asks you to do something, you do it. Oh, you could quickly do it before you leave, or you could stay a little bit longer and do it. And I said, absolutely not, sir. And he's like, okay, let me change that. I need you to go do this. And I said, literally shook my face, like playfully. I just shook my face, no. And he didn't, like, he left me alone. And I think that's probably the respect thing you're talking about. But it's just like, dude, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And it's just stupid. That's like a stupid thing. That has no meaning on anything at all. There's no pressure. But that's the situation I'm in daily. I'd rather be in the more important situations daily.
Yeah. Well, and I believe that comes from different perspectives. Like my job, if they're like, hey, can you go on a van run, or can you go do these extra things? I'm like, I ain't got fucking 8 hours. I got 4 hours left, and that's gonna take me 3. That's cool as fuck, yeah. But then for a lawyer, they're like, oh, I'm already fucking hounded with all this stuff, and then their boss comes in, yeah, we need you to pick up this case too, and here's all these extra things, and they're like, okay, sir, and they just naturally have to, because you respect for your boss, so they're like, oh yeah, I'll fucking take these things over. Like, we have it so simple, so where it's like yours is like, that could have taken you 5 minutes, so you can like, yeah, or whatever.
It would have taken me longer.
What?
That's what I'm saying though. It's like, what is that? I think that's the person thing rather than the situation thing. I think there's lawyers out there in that situation who would be like, absolutely fucking not, boss.
Yeah, well, and it comes down to kissing ass, like
self-respect.
Like if you watch, like, you know the movie, what is it, Horrible Bosses?
Never seen it. Never seen it. Probably won't ever see it.
Anywho,
give us a synopsis.
Jason Bateman, Kevin Spacey's his boss, and
Kevin Spacey.
I think it's Kevin Spacey.
Oh no.
Kevin Spacey's his boss, and he's a fucking asshole. He's supposed to be at work at 6 o'clock, and he's going into the elevator at 6:01 or 6:02. And his boss is like, so you know the importance of being here at 6 on time. he's like, so either you were late or our clocks are off by a full 2 minutes. And he's like, might have been a minute late. And he goes, well, according to this, you're 2 minutes late. And then he's like, so either you're wrong or I'm gonna have to fire our longtime security guy because our security's wrong. And he's like, I might have been a minute late. And he goes, what are you doing? He's like, I'm calling our security guy. I gotta fire him. And he goes, might have been. He's like, I'm kidding. I was late. And he goes, so you were lying? He goes, no, I was just saying, might have been a minute late, And then I'm getting to the point. Throughout the whole thing, he's like, I'm doing all these extra things. I'm doing what my boss asked because I'm gonna get that promotion to be the VP. Blah blah blah. And then when it comes to the point where his boss is like, you're gonna be the VP, or like he's like, I'm deciding who's gonna be the VP. He's like, after all these things, I've decided that I am gonna take over the VP spot because if you can't do it right, you might as well do it yourself. So this guy did all these things for months on end, with his boss saying, basically, if you do these things, you're gonna become the VP of sales.
He was taking advantage of him.
Exactly. So this guy's kissing ass, doing what it takes to move on up, and what you're saying is, you're not going to kiss ass to further yourself, and you can't really further yourself in your line
I
of
agree.
work.
I see that. I don't have the motivation to go forward, so I don't have the motivation
Yeah.
to do the extra. I agree with that. There's a lot of what we're talking about that we're not even touching. Like it'd be impossible to encompass it all. There's different motivations, different situations, and all that good stuff. Different boss personalities. Like the guy you're talking about sounds like he's just degrading the guy for no good reason. That's probably how he gets off. But whatever. It's Kevin Spacey. He's actually a bad dude. Yeah. I'm talking about in that situation, I have consistently stood up for myself. I'm pretty good at not taking guff, and I like that about myself, and I want to build on that. And I think the only way to build on that is to further the pressure, further the situation you're in. And I think everybody would benefit from that, learning self-respect, learning how to take care of yourself in different situations, recognizing in a situation when you need to take care of yourself. Because in your job, it sounds like you got extra time to kill and no motivation to not do it. So, like, otherwise you wouldn't be doing something.
Yeah.
And that's cool, too. I get that. I do that sometimes in my work. It's like, I wouldn't be doing anything else, so I'll do this instead. And that's totally different than the situation where you're being taken advantage of, like your dude in your film.
Yeah. Well, and I think it also comes down to, like we talked about previously, like intimidation and also respect. Like if, certain guys in my work, like, hey man, I need you to do this. I'm like, go fuck yourself. Like, you're not my boss, and I don't really respect you. Whereas my boss or someone I do respect and I'm mildly intimidated by, like, hey man, I need you to do this. I know they could fucking do it themselves, but I'm like, again, it comes to I have time, so I'm like,
Different relationship.
It is what it is. Yeah, exactly. Like, someone below me or at the same level as me is like, fucking, I'm doing these things and fucking I need your help. I'm like, suck, bro. Like, that's not my fucking job.
Did you know we sell these here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I got a fucking fresh one right here.
Oh, yeah. Hot out of the oven, bro.
Yeah.
Check it out.
But then my boss, like, or that person can come up and be like, fucking, I need you to do this thing. I'm like, go fuck yourself. And then my boss can come up 5 minutes later and be like, the exact same thing. I need you to do this thing. I'll be like, hey, sure, man, no problem. Because I respect my boss, and I'm like, because you, the person I am under, is asking me to do that. Absolutely, I'll do it. When a equal comes up and is like, do this, I'm like, fuck yourself.
Word. I think a lot of people will vibe with what they're hearing out of that.
Yeah.
Presentation and also relationship play a big part in that. I agree with what you're saying there. I've been in those situations, and I like those situations where you, hey buddy, I got a fresh one of these. Those are fun.
I had a situation recently where he works a different job than I even do. He came up to me and was like, hey, can you go in the freezer and do this for me? And I was like, it's your job. I'm not gonna do it. And then he goes,
no.
Yeah. And he's like, come on, man, blah blah blah. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna. And he was like, kind of being a dick about it. And then he's like, I'll go talk to the bigger boss, like not my boss, but the guy above my boss. So I'll go talk to him. He'll have you do it. And I was like, go do it. If he comes and tells me to do it, then I'll do it. But and then he's like, it's like you're you're being such a dick right now. Why can't you just go do it? And I was like, because you're not my boss.
I'm not
and
doing
that
it.
is your job. I'm not doing your job. And then like 20 minutes goes by and he comes in. So I talked to him and I was like, no, you didn't. You're just saying that.
Or else he'd be here.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, he would come and say it. He's like, come on, man. Why don't you fucking do it for me? And I know this guy. I actually respect this guy because he used to be my boss. You know him. But yeah, and then eventually I was like, all right, man, I got 3 hours left. And it literally took me 5 minutes. And he could have done it in the 20 minutes he was waiting for me to do it. But I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll go do it.
What's the motivation? Why do people do that?
Because they're like, oh, this is seemingly too hard for myself. And I know this person could do it easily. I get a lot of that at work. They're like, guys will be like, where's it? I'm the lowest on the totem pole at my work. I've worked there, like my current position, I've worked there 4 months. And guys who've worked the same position for 3 years are like, hey, man, can you do this thing that I know how to do, but not as well as you do? And that shit drives me nuts because I'm like, you've worked here, or you've been doing the same job longer than I have. And you're expecting me to do more because you haven't taken the time. I've only been doing this for 4 months, and I've taken the time to learn these things and better myself in those situations. That seems to be the angle right there.
Of that.
Yeah. Which isn't always a bad thing, because then upper management and, like, I had a position offered me in a different state to run a warehouse, and I'd only worked there for 2 months at my current position. They were like, hey, so you're actually doing better than everyone else in this position, and you know what you're doing, and we'd like to have you go down and run a whole fucking place by yourself. And so it pays off.
Oftentimes when you're doing certain work, it will net certain results that you may not have foreseen initially. When you do certain things like, I don't know, compare it to working out. Like you're running the treadmill to lose belly fat or whatever the hell people standardly do. They're like, oh, I'll get on the treadmill and I'll lose my little gut that I got going on.
Yeah.
And then later on they'll realize, oh, wow, I can run like twice the distance now. And they weren't expecting that. They weren't looking for that. That's not the benefit they were looking at. I think that's what you're saying. There's like, you're getting benefits that you didn't do. That wasn't your initial motivation, but this is what you're getting.
Yeah.
That's good. It's important to be recognized like that. I had to fix the camera there. The battery was dead.
I noticed.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will rock with this. I don't think that we're outliers by any means, but it'd definitely be nice to maybe teach people how to handle themselves better. Because if everybody cleans their own doorstep,
the world will be a cleaner place.
That's right. Mother Teresa said that.